It's that time of year. It is that time of year, combine time. For a college football nerd like myself, one of the best times when your team can be trashed the season before. This is that time when you got a little bit of hope before the draft gets here. Well, you know what? We can make this team better. The New York Giants can be, if we get this guy, if we can get this guy on the squad, this can make our team a lot better. If we can get this guy, he can help Dexter Lawrence. If we can get this quarterback, he can help our team and this offense succeed. This is the time for hope. And right now, I'm high off hopium. It is combine week. And guess what? A lot of people are talking about a lot of things. I'm not going to keep you guys long. You see the thumbnail. I want to talk about some players that are on my watch list at the combine. Can I name everybody that I'm interested in? No, I don't want to make a video that long. But there are some key guys, and it's still a pretty long list. There are some key guys, and I'm not even going to get into deep details about it. I'm going to give you guys some names, the position that they play, possibly the college that they went to, and when the combine happens and I do the recaps of who stood out and stuff like that, hopefully some of these guys that I list right now will be on that list for some of those live videos. But without further ado, let's get right into this. I got the handy dandy notebook. You see the notes. I don't know if you can pick up on that. The notes are there. And again, this is not even the full list. This is just some guys, some prospects that I want to see how they do. Now, do I think all these guys could potentially be on the New York Giants? Absolutely not. But again, I'm a college football nerd, and I want to see how these guys perform and some of the numbers that they put up as far as the combine goes. So right off the bat, let's start with the quarterback position. I'm not going to talk about Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, even though I just said their names. Shedeur Sanders already said he's not going to participate in the activities at the combine. Hopefully we get a weight and a height from him, though. Cam Ward, question marks for Cam Ward, too, as well. So let's talk about the guys that we know that should be throwing at the combine this week. Number one on my list, and again, this is not a particular order, just number one on my list is going to be Jackson Dart. I absolutely want to see Jackson Dart throw the ball. I absolutely want to see him spin it. Jackson Dart right now has moved all the way up to the third quarterback on a lot of people's list. I need to see Jackson Dart. Kyle McCord is a guy that I slept on when he played for Ohio State, and then when he got to Syracuse, opened up my eyes. Fantastic year for him. Athletic, sneaky athletic, can throw the ball. Can't wait to see how Kyle McCord does. Curtis Rourke from Indiana, formerly from Ohio. I want to, actually, I don't know if he's throwing. I know he dealt with the injury. I don't know if he had off-season surgery or not on the leg. But I do want to see Curtis Rourke, big kid. Believe he's going to be 6'5", 240 pounds, possibly. Has a nice strong arm as well. Jalen Milroe is probably going to be the prospect that everybody's going to be looking at closely. Just for the athletic traits alone, everybody expects him to be fast. Is he going to run the 40? I don't know. Should he run the 40? Possibly so, because people are talking about Jalen Milroe being able to run a 4.34, 4.40. We'll see what happens with that, but I want to see him throwing the ball. And they did say, I believe I read that Jalen Milroe will be participating and will be throwing at the combine with the hands. Now that we know that his hands are absolutely small, it makes sense that he had some accuracy issues. Again, he has a cannon of an arm. He can throw it through a wall, absolutely. But what about the accuracy? Sometimes the ball dives on him. Small hands pretty much give you an explanation for that. And then Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers is another guy, strong arm, absolutely is going to probably blow a lot of people away throwing at the combine. There are no issues, no concerns when it comes to Quinn Ewers' arm. One of the best arms in the draft. His issues are injuries and also his size. He is a small guy. But that's going to be the quarterback list. So moving right along, one of the most intriguing and the deepest positions in this draft is going to be the defensive tackle. And let's just get into this list right now. Alfred Collins out of Texas. Want to see how he does. Kenneth Grant. I'm curious to see how fast he can run a 40 being the size that he is. Derek Harmon from Oregon is another guy. Darius Leonard from Toledo. Defensive tackle Jamari Caldwell from Oregon is on the list. Ty Robinson from Nebraska. He's one of my sneaky sleeper guys, Ty Robinson. TJ Sanders, of course, Walter Nolan. These guys are first rounders and then, second round guys, in my opinion. Deion Walker is going to be intriguing because he had a fantastic year prior to this season. This year was a little bit, lackluster. Senior Bowl was a little bit lackluster. Curious to see what his athletic traits are going to be, what he runs in the 40, cone drills, stuff like that. I'm curious to see that. And CJ West out of Indiana is another guy, shorter defensive tackle, but absolutely flashes when you watch the tape. So that's going to be the DTs right now. Again, I did not mention Mason Graham. I did not mention some other. These are guys, we already know what Mason Graham is. We already know what a lot of these guys are. I'm just saying some guys that I'll be paying close attention to. Next is going to be the edge. Now, this is the 4-3 defensive ends. This is the 3-4 outside linebackers. We're talking about edge rushers here. One guy that is not high on my list, but one guy that I'm intrigued by is Kamon Rucker out of UNC. About 6'2", 240 pounds, but he has a deep pass rush bag, fantastic hands. And when people have fantastic hands, I label them Kung Fu masters. I know it sounds corny, it sounds funny, whatever. But Kamon Rucker is absolutely a Kung Fu master. Elijah Roberts, SMU. Elijah Roberts is under the radar. 295 pounds, freak, strong, great hands, good motor. Jared Ivey out of Ole Miss. Tyler Batty out of BYU. He's another guy that I feel like I need on the New York Giants. Ashton Gillette from Louisville. Another 6'3", 270, 280 pound edge. I like Ashton Gillette a lot. I'll leave it at that. Kyle Kennard from South Carolina. Nick Scorton out of Texas A&M. Then Mike Green out of Marshall. Next is going to be the running back list, and the number one guy on my list that I want to see, we already know what Genty is. We already know about Omarion. I want to see what Travion Henderson actually runs in the 40. I want to see that. Devin Neal, also, I want to see what he runs in the 40. He's not known to be, for his speed, but he is an explosive playmaker. Damian Martinez, all-around back. I would love for him to be on the New York Giants. Can catch the ball, can run the ball, outside through the tackles, has some wiggle too. Khalil Mullings is probably the big back, the thumper that I actually want to add to the New York Giants. He's out of Michigan. Taj Brooks, Texas Tech. Taj Brooks, if you haven't watched Taj Brooks, I implore you to go ahead and watch Taj Brooks. And then Raheem Sanders, Rocket Sanders, had an injury prior to this season, came back, 6 foot, 230 pounds. I'm curious to see what he really measures in when he give up the measurements. But Raheem Sanders, a day 3 guy, absolutely. If you're sitting there with the last pick and he happens to still be there, or you're in the 7th round period, I would take a flyer on Raheem Sanders for sure. Crazy thing is, if he has a good combine, he might go a lot sooner than that. And then to wrap up with the last 2 positions I want to talk about in this video, cornerback. Giants absolutely need a cornerback. We might address that in free agency as well. But I'm just going to run down this list of guys I want to see perform in all of the drills. Especially I want to see if these guys' hips are fluid as well. Siobhan Revel, Azariah Thomas from Florida State, Benjamin Morrison out of Notre Dame. I believe he might be ready to go. Maxwell Harrison out of Kentucky. Trey Amos out of Ole Miss. Noah Williams out of California. That's another sleeper. Jabbar Muhammad. I'm a big fan of Jabbar Muhammad. Played at Washington, played at Oregon this past season. Mello Dotson and Kobe Bryant, both of those guys from Kansas. And then to finish it off, we're going to talk about the offensive line. With the offensive line, I have Josh Connerly, Ariante Ursery, Ozzie Trapillo out of, Boston, and Jalen Rivers out of Miami. Luke Kandra from Cincinnati, Jonah Monheim from USC, and then John Williams is another sleeper from Cincinnati. That's going to be my list, man. I didn't want to keep you guys long. I just wanted to give you guys just some of the guys that I'll be paying close attention to. Again, this is a combine. Everybody's in underwear. Everybody's running around. How much can you really get from that information? This guy's fast. This guy can catch. This guy can't catch. This guy's an athletic monster. That's what you're really getting out of the combine. But guess what? We're still curious and we still want to tune in. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dad Schnoz, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.